Man, the boys in the back they're on some vinegar today. I think
there's some serious Carolina Hurricanes offer sheet energy back there. I tell you,
Rolf back there, he's got that energy.
He's got that Tom Dundon-esque-ness to him right now.
Welcome inside the SquadCast bunker. We are in the middle of a massive storm.
Yeah.
And we're hoping you guys have power and you can tune in for the whole night. We got Katie Fleury checking in. She said, hey, I'm currently stuck in a storm. No promises I won't lose you. So we're going to have to see how that goes.
You know what? It's kind of like a trip to Vegas here, right? You know what? We might be here for a good time, not a long time. So we'll see how it goes. But
as long as the lights are on, we'll keep going. So thanks for hanging out tonight. As always, we are in the IKS Media Studios. Shout out to Paul. He was hanging out with us earlier tonight. But we are presented by our good friends over at Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions. At Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions, they can help you out with everything you need for your business. They can get you supplies. They can do orders for you. They can bring it right to your doorstep and make sure that your business never misses a step.
And you know what? They do it all with a smile.
All with a smile.
I think that's the most important thing.
Absolutely. Roxanne and Darnell can handle it all for you. Give them a call or check them out at rockstar.com. There's a lot going on, Max, that we're going to get to in a second here. But how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic.
You had a busy weekend yourself.
Very, very busy weekend. Enjoyed some glow golf out of Regina Beach. Again, no free ads, so regardless, I enjoyed some glow golf this weekend. Fantastic event. But it was kind of one of those dog days of summers in the sports world. But hey, we had some things to discuss. And I know our phones were going rapid back and forth saying, oh, we got to talk about that on Tuesday.
Yes.
Got to talk about that. Got to talk about this. Got to talk about that. So no, it's been great. How about yourself, my friend?
It was busy. My daughter turned 9 this weekend.
That's
so
right.
We had 2 different birthday parties. One friends, one family.
Saw some really fun pictures. It seemed like it was a great time.
Yeah, we did have a good time. We went bowling. We did some other great stuff with the family. So it was always...
Was it glow bowling?
Yeah, they had the lights.
It was a glowy weekend for all of us.
Weekend.
We were on the glow up, as the kids say.
We were glowing, Max.
That's right.
As always, you are the squad, you are the finalists, and we want to hear from you throughout the evening. So you can ask us anything. Testing Rolf early with the pictures.
He's on it.
He's on it tonight.
1 for 1.
Ask us anything. Send in your questions. Send in your comments. Send in your chirps. Whatever you want throughout the evening. We're here for it. We'll read them on the screen and on the show throughout the evening. So make sure you do that and blow up the comments wall on Facebook, on Twitter. I'm going to open up Twitter comments right now on our YouTube channel at the Rod Peterson Show YouTube page. And if you don't mind, hit that like, hit that share button. Do whatever
it helps
on the app, whatever app you're using, whatever platform, do whatever is on there.
Your preferred social media medium.
That's it.
There we go.
So let's do that and have some fun throughout the evening. Max, do you want to jump right into it?
Crazy not to. We got a lot to get to.
Yeah, a lot to get to because we have some special guests coming in tonight. Our good buddies Leroy and Leroy should be here, I think, unless they got stuck in the storm.
Here's hoping.
We're hoping
they did not.
Yeah, we hope they're here in a minute. And we have our good buddy Keegan, who we're going to meet him tonight for the first time. But Keegan's going to be here from HoopLife Basketball, talking hoops later in the show. Of course, we'll always do our Bluebird block later in the night with our original 16 nightcap. Looking forward to that, as per usual. It's become my favorite segment. So we're looking forward to all of that. But let's get into the topics, get through this top of the order, brought to you by IKS Media. Or is it IKS Media? No, the top of the order tonight is by HoopLife. So we're going to do that one for sure. But yes, Barry Kotkaniemi. Let's stop burying the lead. The Kotkaniemi offer sheet is the talk of the town in the hockey world right now. The Carolina Hurricanes have sent and been signed. Kotkaniemi has signed a $6.1 and then a couple other numbers, $1 million 1-year offer sheet from the Carolina Hurricanes. He's a restricted free agent, so for those who might not know, he is a free agent, but technically his rights are still owned by the Canadiens. Other teams can offer contracts, but Montreal has an opportunity. I don't know if you heard that. Massive thunder boo.
That was frightening. that was Mark Bergevin when he saw that offer sheet come down.
Yes, that's Mark Bergevin slamming his desk because he's pissed off. The Canadiens own his rights, but other teams can send offers. Now, what this means is the Canadiens can then match the offer or let him go, but the other team has to compensate the Canadiens with draft picks, and this particular one is a first-round pick and a third-round pick in this next upcoming draft. So the conversation then turns to, was it the right move by Carolina to do this? It's kind of a petty move, a lot of people are saying, because it's kind of a revenge move from when Montreal did this to them a couple of years ago with their star player, Sebastian Aho. different types of players, different qualities of players involved in both moves. So was Carolina right to do this? Did they offer too much money for this? Is one of the questions. Two, we'll get into this, is will Montreal match this or just let it go? And three, if they do just let him go, they got a hole in terms of their center depth. So what do they do there? So Max, let's start with one. Is this the right move for Carolina?
I think it works out fantastically. I mean, you look at Carolina's offseason as a whole, right? I mean, it hasn't exactly been the widest regarded in terms of positivity around there. They let go of Alex Nedeljkovic, who was third in Calder voting. Didn't want to pay him $3 million a year. Tom Dundon doesn't like goaltending for whatever reason. And then you signed the much maligned Tony DeAngelo, who we all know the history there. It's been a very, very interesting offseason in Carolina. They made a couple of other decent moves as well to shore things up, but this is one of those ones where you see the showmanship of Tom Dundon and how he's going to bring something a little bit different to hockey. There was obviously the well-publicized contract dispute with head coach Rod Brind'Amour, who they desperately wanted to bring back, and clearly Rod Brind'Amour wanted to go back based on what he signed for, well below market value. But getting to Jesperi Kotkaniemi, one, you had to do this. I believe it was Frank Saravalli who was talking about it the other day on Tim and Sid, saying that when you extend an offer sheet, you have to overpay a little bit. You want to get the player. That was the mistake that Montreal made a couple of off seasons ago when Don Waddell decided to immediately match the Sebastian Aho offer. Was all of a sudden it just took care of business for Carolina for 4 years because it was kind of a no-brainer to match for them.
Yeah, but they didn't do enough, and then Carolina's like, well, that's a great deal for us. We'll just sign it.
Exactly. Yeah. And so Tom Dundon, Don Waddell, they wait in the weeds. They say, hey, we remember that. People don't forget, as the good quote from Superbad goes. And we see some drama unfold on a Saturday afternoon where all of a sudden it was just madness. It was, and it was great. At the tail end of August, when, like you said, GMs are maybe finishing up their vacations, not doing a whole lot of activity, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, hockey season's right around the corner. Here comes the competition early in the season, and we're seeing it with this offer sheet. And I don't know if Montreal decides to match it.
Right, I was going to say, would you match it if you're Marc Bergevin?
I don't think so, not with their current cap predicament. I really like the compensation that they're going to be getting back and the way that they could potentially shop this first and third round pick. That's the other part of the offer sheet, is when you get into the tiers of dollars, you get additional compensation. Right. So at $6.135 with a $20 signing bonus.
$20, I love
Can't
that.
forget that $20 signing bonus. We'll talk about that a little bit later.
I love it.
But, it's fantastic. But they're going to be entitled to, if they decide not to match, a first-round pick in this coming entry draft as well as a third. So Montreal has to look at it as, okay, 6.13 on a player that we're not necessarily sure of, a third overall pick 3 years ago. What can we do with these picks to maybe shore up? And you've got an interesting name that I'll let you talk about as a potential option that they could throw to this particular team who's been snapping up picks. Mm-hmm. I think they've got options here. I think if they want to match, I still think Jesperi Kotkaniemi is a very good prospect. And it's hard to call him a prospect when he's been in the league for 3 years. But at the end of the day, he's already got 200 games of NHL experience, been a bit of a tumultuous relationship to end in Montreal. So whatever they decide to do, they have options. But the one thing that they don't have a lot of right now is cap space. So they're going to have to make every decision from here on until the regular season with that in mind. And when you look at Jesperi Kotkaniemi, is he a $6 million player today? No.
No, he's just not. That's the one thing. I think Carolina offered way too much money, but like you said, they kind of have to in a situation like this because they just wanted the player. B, I don't think Montreal should match this. They should say, yes, please, thank you for the picks. We'll take them and we'll move on. C, the question is who replaces Kotkaniemi, because he was going to be the second-line centerman probably, especially after losing Philip Deneau. And while they're younger guys below Kotkaniemi, the Jake Evans, Ryan Poehling, the other guys that they have, they're not ready for a second-line centerman role. So the question is do they move Jonathan Drouin to center? Jonathan Drouin just came off a year where I don't want to say he quit halfway through the year, but he had to take some time off. And he has played center in the past. He's come out and already said in some interviews, some people have gotten a hold of him, got some interviews. He said he's ready and seriously ready to play center. Maybe that's the move. Or they go out, they package those picks they get in this compensation from the Hurricanes. They trade him to Arizona, like you mentioned, and go get Christian Dvorak, who's apparently top of their list in terms of targeting. Christian Dvorak I think he's like 25 years old. He's coming off one of his best seasons. That Thunder is going nuts. Dvorak's coming off one of his best seasons in the NHL, and he's got a great contract. 4 years left at $4.45 million. That's the top of my head. But he's got a great contract. 4 years of that. and I think he'd be a perfect fit for that second-line center spot. And it would just alleviate some pressure off of a guy like Drouin, who hasn't cemented himself as a centerman in this league.
Yeah, and at 26 years old, right, we've seen this experiment before in Montreal, in Tampa Bay, where he was drafted. That's where Jonathan Drouin just hasn't quite lived up to what he was maybe supposed to be in the NHL as a prototypical top 6, top 2 line center. But you know what? That happens all the time. I think I agree with you 100% of going out and finding somebody that has that establishedness to their game, right, like Christian Dvorak has, albeit in Arizona on a not terribly successful team. But Montreal, you kind of put yourself on a pedestal by making the Stanley Cup final last year. It's already, I'm looking at Cap Friendly right now. They've already got Shea Weber on long-term IR, and they still are in cap hell at the moment. So it's one of those,
right up against it.
It's one of those things where, again, with Jesperi, and again, I mean, the one thing that can't be negated in all this with Kotkaniemi, and just going to a Carolina perspective real quick, this could be one of those deal in the drawer situations. It's a 1-year deal at 6.1. Yes, you have to qualify him if he performs up to that at 6.1, but maybe they already have a deal in the drawer of a maybe 5 or 6 year term at less than that 6.1 cap hit.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm thinking is possibly at play here, and why they were so gung-ho to at least try and acquire him and put Marc Bergevin in a bit of a bind as to, do we protect this player and give up a pick?
Montreal's in a very unique situation because they're coming off a Stanley Cup run, but their depth has been taking a hit lately. So that's it's not looking good for them to really, honestly, as of right now, even with Kotkaniemi make the playoffs. And now they're losing him, and now Jake Evans is listed as their number 2 center at the moment, and we'll see what
That's
does.
dangerous.
But not looking good. Let's check in with some of the viewers here. Ryan Marishak checks in, says, good evening, gents. We got Rod Peterson giving us a wave. Hello, Roddy.
Roddy.
Zach Nelson is saying it's 2-2 Canada-USA in the Women's World Championship. We'll get to that in a sec. Rod Monroe says, hey, boys, tuning in from Sedley, checking out some signage with Leroy and Leroy.
Fantastic.
Tell them to get here. They're on the show in like 15 minutes or less. Katie Fleury says it's just past Pence, and I think she means the Storm, perhaps.
That's not far.
Brian Snow is checking in, saying he's very tired, but he's feeling okay.
Good
Brian,
to hear
hope
from you,
you're doing
Snowman.
good. From Carolina. We'll have to chat with Brian again before too long as the NFL
Lots to
season
talk
gets
about with
underway.
his Niners and his White Sox.
And speaking of the NFL, some big news today shaking the NFL world because the name is big, but the player hasn't been that good lately.
No.
And we saw Cam Newton get cut by his New England Patriots today, leaving Mac Jones as the go-to starter for the Patriots going forward. Interesting because it seemed like they were going to maybe groom Mac Jones a little bit, but they're just throwing him right into the fire. So, Max, we don't have to go too long on this, but do you think this is the right move for the Patriots, and will Cam Newton resurface?
One, I think it definitely is. If you look at that division, right, Josh Allen's the oldest quarterback in that division.
Yeah.
Right? You got Zach Wilson with the Jets. You got Tua Tagovailoa.
Good try.
I always
Good
struggle
try.
with that name.
Good try.
But you have him over with the Dolphins, and Josh Allen, the Buffalo Bills, undisputed, crown them the champions of the division already. But with the New England Patriots, Mac Jones, I think this is where, going back to the draft, and Craig Smith, our good friend, can probably speak to this as well. Bill Belichick got his guy at 15, where he would have taken him at 4. He wanted the smartest quarterback in the draft. Mac Jones has proven to be that. And in camp, he's looked nothing but impressive. Obviously, the regular season's an entirely different animal. But when you listen, I like assistant to the
Engineer.
Yeah.
We'll call him both.
I love The Office.
But I was telling Rolf before the show, my brother, Scott, who we've had on the show, he's former NHL.
Might have to call him up as an emergency guest.
Yeah, hey, Scott, you want to come in? But anyways, he was dwindling down at the end of his career because he was a professional goaltender for 9 seasons. And there was an opportunity for him to go to Korea.
Oh.
And what Korea was doing at the time, this was 2 or 3, 4 years ago now, maybe 5. What they were doing at the time was they were bringing over Canadians long enough in advance because they were trying to qualify for these Olympics. And what they wanted was the Canadians to get Korean citizenship, South Korean, so that they can then play on the Olympic team. So what they were trying to do is just fill up their team with a bunch of Canadians, Americans that were interested in doing this and play in their professional league at the same time, make a little bit of money, make a living, obviously, and then play on the Olympic team. So
it's a concept that works.
For a few guys that, maybe were past their prime or maybe didn't quite catch on and where they thought they would, that would have been quite the opportunity to form a little bit of a kind of a makeshift Olympic team.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think that would have been interesting. Obviously, Korea didn't qualify, so we're not going to see it. I don't know if it ended up happening, if their plan ended up happening or not, but just a little small tidbit there for what...
small timbit.
Yeah, a little timbit.
Oh, sorry, no free ads.
Nope. Anyways, that does it, I guess, for the top of our top of the order. I just got a note again from Leroy Squared. It says it's not looking good. We had to pull over. So, don't know. I think we're going to be playing this one by ear.
We'll play it by ear.
Maybe we'll put the Bluebird block next segment and get that going. Talk a little Blue Jays after the break.
And we'll give it a reorder.
The top of the order.
We'll adjust on the fly.
Exactly. The top of the order was brought to you tonight by HoopLife Basketball. Head to your app store today and download their easy-to-use basketball app. They got it all there for you. Training. You can go check out all of their programs, all their sessions. It's amazing. And they have a new league starting up, which we're really excited about. And you can use the promo code SQUAD10 for 10% off everything they have available. That's sessions, camps, everything. Merchandise, great merchandise. So check it out, hooplifebasketball.com. Take your game seriously on and off the court. Hoop Life Basketball. Of course, we have Keegan coming in later. I think he's coming in.
Should be here shortly.
So we're going to talk basketball with him. Another shout out to Hoop Life as well. But we'll be back in a couple of minutes, I guess, guys. I mean,
we're doing it live tonight, Clark. We're doing it live.
We might as well keep her going as we normally would. Jordan, you want to roll commercials, or what do you want to do here? Yeah, okay. Let's roll commercials, and we'll be back in a couple minutes, I guess.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. BDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Peterson Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Peterson Show today.
Everyday Hoop Life.
Is it
time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. IKS Live, the proud producer of The Rod Peterson Show and The Recovery Hour. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time. Big time.
Okay. Yeah, so I think we're back. I still don't have internet on my laptop. And just literal seconds ago,
Mineral
seconds ago, the lights in here just like bright flashed, and me and Max were like, "What just happened?" So I think we're up. I think we're up. I
Does
think
Paul have some cots in the back? We might be staying here for tonight.
I don't think we ever left YouTube, so I think we were still on. I don't know if we were broadcasting at all, but I think our feed's still on. I think we're still up on YouTube. I think we're back up on Facebook. So, anyways, if you can hear us out there, please send in some comments. Rolf, please feel free, if you have comments coming in on that Facebook feed, just throw them up throughout the evening. And you might have to play with the wrong well, just put up if you can put up the right graphics, just put them up. It doesn't matter what we got. We just
again
would love to chat with people.
We're doing it live.
Yeah. And a quick update: if you were tuning in to watch Leroy and Leroy tonight, I got the message. It's not looking good out there. They pulled over on the side of the road. And
there's always something to do, and that includes pulling over when there's a storm outside. So, yeah.
They had to pull over, and they had to take a literal rain check. Da-dum-tsh.
I like that.
Yeah. So
the boys always looking for the comedic side of things.
Yeah.
We're okay with that. Stay safe, boys. If you can hear us, we'll get you on.
Yeah, we have plenty of time for Leroy and
Be
Leroy.
safe.
Always.
That's all that matters.
And now, just as so everyone's aware, it sounds like a tornado might be going around our studio.
Hey, that was Vladdy Guerrero Jr.'s home run. It just hit. It just landed.
That is hail. Can anyone hear this? This is nuts. I feel like something's gonna fly through the wall.
I feel like
and
we're in a
smack
Call
us.
of Duty map right now. I'm not gonna lie.
I hope it's coming through my mic right now. It's impressive. Anyways. If we, I don't even know what to do right now.
Y'all, if this is the last time we see you, it's been real. 48 episodes. We didn't think we'd get this far. Thanks to our partners.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know if this is coming through or not, but it's amazing.
I now know what a green feels like when a golf ball lands on it.
Yeah. Luckily, my script is still open. Like I feel like I have to yell. It's so loud. My script is still open. Max, this is just humorous. Can you guys hear this? Yeah. Drew's
Let it rain down! Lord, livid!
Please tell us if you're still watching.
Keegan made it!
We got our guest in. We got somebody here. This is wild. This is wild. Keegan, have a seat. He can't hear me.
Yeah,
he can't hear me.
Yeah.
Anyways, if we're still on the air, if you're still watching, thank you. This is legitimately nuts. Now, We got Director Jordan running around back there.
Don't do it, Jordan.
I don't think it's worth it, Jordan. I don't think it's worth it. I might not have a car after this.
Yeah.
Like, our windows might be smashed.
Are we partners with SGI?
I hope we are.
I think
their hail claim insurance. Oh, it's calming down. It's gone. It's done.
Look at
It's
that.
done already.
Okay,
Okay,
well.
we're back. What do we want to talk about right now? I don't even know.
Again, yeah, a little worried about the state of the vehicle at the moment.
Yeah, the car might be a little damaged.
Yeah.
We do have Keegan coming in. Okay, so it is coming through. Craig Ballard just texted me. He said, the storm sounds insane. It did come through your microphones.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't hear myself talking. It was so loud
Well,
here, guys.
we're greatly appreciative
Yes, this is
of our
hilarious.
good friend Keegan Edwards for making it in tonight.
Yeah. Again, I still don't have internet on my laptop. I have my script open, so we can talk about some stuff, but this is just hilarious.
That's what we'll do.
Yeah, I just don't know if you guys are commenting or if we got anybody watching, and it's coming back.
And it's back for round 2.
So, anyways, I guess you want to do the Bluebird block? Again,
I think it might be time for a commercial break.
Let's take a commercial break. This is just hilarious. Please, if you're watching, stick around. We will talk sports and stuff, but this is just like literally wild. We'll see you in a couple minutes. Stick around. I don't even know if Jordan
Does
knew it.
this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. BDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Peterson Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Peterson Show today.
Everyday hoop life.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. IKS Live, the proud producer of The Rod Peterson Show and The Recovery Hour. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time. Big time.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. BDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Peterson Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Peterson Show today.
Everyday hoop life.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. IKS Live, the proud producer of The Rod Peterson Show and The Recovery Hour. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of fun. Big time, big time, big time, big time. Big time.
And we are now back. Welcome to the green room of IKS Media Studios, everybody. This is a first. I was just going to say, Keegan, in the break, we got to feel like six men coming off the bench here. You know what? Middle of the game, we don't know what to expect. Things have developed a certain way. We're just going to have to adjust on the fly. But either way, Keegan Edwards, our good man from HoopLife Basketball Training. Keegan, how's it going today?
It's going really good. Appreciate you guys having us out here and doing things on the fly. Just got to roll with it, right?
Well, we appreciate the flexibility, man. No, at the end of the day, I mean, we're doing what we can, like you said, doing it live on the fly. But just kind of wanted to talk to you again. We were kind of getting into it a little bit off air for what we could hear. How's the summer been going for yourself personally?
Man, it's really good. It's been crazy busy, and it feels like the days kind of blend together. But, I mean, it's a good problem to have. I'd rather have that than sitting at home, unfortunately, right? So it's a good alternative to what we had the last year and a half here.
Absolutely. So what do you like to get up to in the summer? Are you a guy that likes to hang out at home and watch movies? I know, again, we've had a chance to do that a lot over the last year and a half, but do you like to go hiking, golfing? What's kind of your game in the summer when you got a day?
You named it. The cabin. Love it. That's like time away where you can just let loose, not have to worry about anything. Love going on the boat. Golfing. It's a kind of huge thing in my family. Little competition between the cousins and the old man, so we definitely go out, hit a couple balls, and yeah, just taking time to really just enjoy yourself. What summer's for, right? So
fantastic. Well, you're here representing our fantastic friends at Hoop Life. We've had a great partnership with you guys for, I guess, just under a year now. What's going on over there?
a lot. So I'm so happy and excited for this upcoming year because I feel like it's going to be really great for the community here. So we have the opening of our center coming up. I don't know if you guys saw, we're opening our own fall HoopLife League.
That's right. Absolutely. Yeah. Things are coming along well there.
Coming along great. Yeah, so I'm just really pumped up because there's been a big kind of void in basketball in Regina. And it's a growing sport. Kids love doing it. I love doing it. I mean, I'm pretty sure we're all fans here.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's why we're talking.
100%.
And it's really great to be able to give back to the community a little bit because they've done so much for us. And this is one way of prepping the kids, make sure they're set for high school, for university, good competition, great refs, great coaching. That's going to be great. It's going to be awesome.
Absolutely. And you know what? A thing that we talk about a lot every single time that we have you guys on, whether if it's yourself, Andrew, Habib, Andrew, like there's just so many things always happen. Things are always ramping up at Hoop Life. And when we talk about ramping up, you said it, right? We're fans. We want to talk about it. The NBA season and training camps are going to start to get ramping up here in the next month. I guess, what do you think of how the off season has shaped up so far around the association with a couple of your favorite teams to watch and just in the league as a whole? How has the off season been treating you in terms of your fan?
I am actually a Portland fan.
Okay.
So unfortunately, I would like to say it's going great, but there are some things that I definitely would like to see change. And they've had great stretches throughout the season, and then that postseason's cut short.
Sure.
Same time, year after year, for the exact same reasons. We're going to dig into it a little bit more in a little bit, I'm sure.
Absolutely, it's coming.
I would definitely like to see some big changes coming their way, and I think now is the time to do it. So, but for the rest of the league, it's going to be a crazy year. I mean, injuries were a big part of it last year. There's so many what ifs in sports, but then it doesn't matter. A win's a win, right? So, new year, I feel like it's going to be a great time to have everybody rested up, right? Play full season and see who's really the best this year.
Absolutely. And you know what? I have to ask this question, being a massive fan of an out-of-market hockey team. I don't meet a whole lot of Portland Trailblazers fans. So where did that fandom start for you? How did it get going? Because, again, not many Portland fans in this area.
That's actually such a funny story. This goes back to high school. And I started getting into basketball kind of around grade 9, grade 10. And one of the things my friends like to do is kick back and hang out and play video games. So 2K came out. It was like 2K12. And I don't know how many hours I put in on it. But in my career, I was drafted to the Blazers.
Gotcha.
And then every single year after that, I always go back to that team. Right. And then after just playing with it, I started watching it and I just fell in love with it. I like Portland. I love college basketball out that way too. So, I mean, I always want to go there and I just think it'd be a cool city and great place to be. So
100%. And where Nike is born as well too. And just talking NBA jerseys, I know I really like the Portland Trailblazers threads. That's a team that'd be easy to get hooked on just based on their look. I absolutely love the threads that they rock. So, I mean, you addressed it earlier. We're going to talk about it. Your Portland Trailblazers, Dame. I guess, so it was funny when Andrew sent me the message of what the corner three was going to look like tonight. He said, okay, we're going to talk about Dame, and if he stays in Portland, is it possibly sacrificing his own personal accolades and what he could achieve as opposed to maybe moving on to a super team? Can you maybe just speak to Dame's situation with the team, what you would like to see happen as a fan, and I guess ultimately what you think may happen?
Yeah, so I sent you guys a really loaded question, and there's two sides to this, right? Do you consider a good career winning championships? Or is there loyalty a factor, right? You have a lot of great players who have done both, but people always love the loyalty, right? Sure. But on my side of things, the way I see it is that it is great to be loyal, but you want to win. You didn't work your whole life to kind of just say, okay, I made it and this is it. I mean, I feel like they have that hunger and that drive to really want to be champions. So going back to what I said, I think there needs to be some big changes made on this team for them to have that championship. So right off the top, year after year, we always hear defensively, right? Big things need to change defensively because they're forwards, they're so power forwards and they're centers, right? They've made a couple changes here and there, but they don't have that two-way superstar. Because they drafted traded for Larry Nance. I don't know if you heard about that.
No, so I heard the name in terms of what's come up there anyways, but no, please enlighten our listeners a little more.
Yeah, so he is a great defensive player, right? So that's one of their check marks. And awesome, great role player, right? Can feel that. But on the flip side of it, what are you bringing in offensively? What's that talent, right?
Right.
So what I'm thinking is, what can we do next? Well, just the backcourt is one of the best offensively, but defense is lacking too. So if Dame is your franchise player, you need the pieces to correspond and make him best player out there. Right? So when CJ is shooting and it's green light and it's going well, they're amazing. But what we've seen in the playoffs on the bigger stage, what happens when that dries up? Exactly. So what we have now is somebody who's not doing anything on offense and is further a defensive liability.
Gotcha. Yeah, and you know what? When it comes to the Trailblazers, right, obviously for Raptors fans in this nation, it was a much publicized trade at the deadline. I believe it was Norm Powell for Gary Trent Jr. straight up, correct?
And Robin Hood.
And Robin Hood, that's right. So when it comes to, I guess, Norm Powell and his impact on the team, is that somebody that you could see being like a complementary piece for Dame to work with? And again, it complements the CJ McCollums and the Dame Lillards of the world.
So Rod Hood was a great shooter, and he was consistent. And they also traded Gary Trent Jr., which I found really interesting. I think a lot of people also found that interesting.
Raptors fans are happy.
I mean, he's a younger Norman Powell.
Absolutely.
Right? Very similar play style. And yes, he fits in well there. I mean, the dynamics of it, they are definitely a running gun, a high octane offense, and then defense has been lacking. So fits in there. But going back, what I would like to see, we were even just seeing Ben said earlier tonight, he's not happy in Philly.
Right.
CJ off pick for Ben, I could swallow that because I don't care if Ben doesn't want to take an open layup. If he's kicking out the Dame for an open jumper,
right? Yeah.
I'll take that. I'll take that all the time.
Absolutely.
And defense 1 through 5 got that covered, gives him kind of a fresh start and room to grow as a player. And then CJ, he can go over there. If they want a shooter, he's on go all the time, right? So he's locked in.
For sure. I guess the ultimate question for Portland fans, and again, you being a diehard one of them, do they possibly have that Milwaukee effect? Can they build around one superstar and get it done when we're seeing the super trend team only continue to evolve and grow around the association? Do you think it's possible that Dame could elevate this team enough to Giannis levels, or is he going to need a little bit more complementary help around him for Portland to be that next smaller market team to win a championship?
It's a great question. And honestly, I don't see that happening. Dame has been playing unreal for how many years now?
For sure.
And the results just don't show. And personally, I just see it. Big men can have a bigger impact on a team just from having that versatility to shoot the three now, right? Go out on the wing and also do work down low. This new age big man is crazy. They do everything. And I think we're starting to see that transition a bit with the kind of guard forwards now that we're seeing, those 6'7", 6'8" point guards. So kind of like Magic Johnson, except with a higher clip. I mean, that's like your ideal point guard now.
Absolutely. And I guess talking about versatility, we'll move into the next topic on the corner three. A very versatile piece for the Golden State Warriors, Klay Thompson, returning after a year of absence with injury. What does he bring to that team that's going to lead to a resurgence for the Golden State Warriors to return them to the days that we remember them to being one of the, if not the most dominant team in basketball for a number of years?
I honestly think it's everything. Like, he does so much on the court, and one of my favorite players to watch, just technically sound, smart decisions, leads a team well. And I mean, like, how can we forget? If you're putting up 30 points, 30 some odd points in a quarter, the other team has to mark you for sure. So with him coming back, it opens up the floor, right? And then it also gives you another lockdown player, right? And then also it gives freedom for Wiggins to play the three. So he is a high jumping, fast running, athletic guy. And if you give him the space to move around the court in that position, I think you're going to see a lot more freedom in this offense. And also just that offensive capability he has is almost unheard of in a shooter. That consistency is amazing to watch.
Absolutely. We saw it in the 19 finals when they were a completely different team. Kevin Durant aside, Klay Thompson, I would argue, was probably the most valuable missing piece from that team towards the latter part of the series, even though he got hurt in the final game, whatever it would be. you really noticed when he wasn't on the floor. He was that dynamic piece that Steph could trust. It was a guy that just brought so much, like you said, versatility and ability to score that, like you said, when he comes back this year, I fully expect the Warriors to return to that team of old. And now moving into the new age side of things, we want to talk about G-Lo to finish things off. Obviously, he made some noise early in his professional career, to say the least, with some off-the-court troubles. But now, man, he put up some numbers, balled out in the Summer League this year. Do you think he did enough? Did he open enough scouts, general manager, front office's eyes to earn a contract somewhere this year and prove what he could be as another Ball brother in the association?
Yeah, so I always thought that he had a good game. He has a good game. He can hoop, but the off-court trouble kind of always followed him. But coming back into this Summer League now, the fans love him. Oh, yeah. Man, they're going crazy when he's on the court. And that publicity is starting to die down now.
Right.
Now, that being aside, he was a great shooter all throughout it. Off the dribble, catch and shoot, from mid, three, finishing close. And not to mention, he might be shortest of the brothers, but he's the biggest.
Yeah.
And that first step has improved a lot since the last time I saw him playing. So he's now able to get penetration. And with that big frame, he's really able to stay on course and finish those tough shots around the rim. So, my opinion, yes, he deserves a chance. Give him a year contract.
Mm-hmm.
And if he's coming in as a role player, 10, 12 minutes a game, that will suit his purpose. And then he can develop more as it. He's still really young. He's 22 years old. So, lots of time for development on his end. And we've seen it as a person. He's making better decisions, right? He's been out of the headline for bad things, only good things lately. And I also think Lil Bro talking in that coach's ear a little bit might...
that might sway some opinions, 100%.
Absolutely.
And I mean, again, you could probably speak to this as a coach for Hoop Life. Sometimes all you need to do is earn your opportunity, right? Once you get that opportunity, the sky's the limit. And I guess before we wrap up tonight there, Keegan, once again, thank you very much for the flexibility tonight, man. This is, again, a first for our listeners, for our viewers. Everybody will know that the green room here at IKS Media, this is a bit of a different setting. But once again, we want to thank you for rolling with the punches. And, man, can you just, again, kind of speak to what's going on at Hoop Life as of right now and what you're most excited for in terms of the league, the building? Again, every single week we seem to be talking about a new momentous occasion with you guys, which is fantastic to see. And what are you most excited for coming down the hoop, I guess?
Yeah, I'm just so excited for Regina to be on the map now, right? We've had so much talent come out of here, but we didn't have the facilities to develop it, and kids are having to leave. And with that being said, they can't be with their families or their previous supports and stuff like that. They're kind of forced to grow up quick. I'm really happy to say that our community can now fully develop these players, and they'll have all the tools they need to fulfill all their dreams. If they want to be an NBA player, man, if they want to go to college, they want a scholarship, whatever they want out here, I'm really happy we can now deliver it.
And you guys are delivering it in so many aspects. Keegan, I greatly appreciate your time tonight, brother. Thank you very much for coming in. And we'll have to do it again very, very soon. Here's hoping with a little less hail coming down on the roof so everybody can hear you in your full effect. Once again, thank you very much, my friend. Heading into the break now, that segment was brought to you by our good friends at RBI Baseball and Softball Training. And we're going to wrap up this, I guess, crazy little show with a Bluebird block that hopefully everybody can hear coming out of the break in 2.5 minutes. Once again, Keegan, thanks for coming by, and we'll see all you guys in about 2.5 minutes.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. BDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Peterson Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Peterson Show today.
Everyday hoop life.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. IKS Live, the proud producer of The Rod Peterson Show and The Recovery Hour. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of fun. Big time, big time, big time, big time. Big time.
Here we are. We're back in the studio.
Made it back from my road game.
Yeah, you had a nice little road trip there.
Hey, man, you know what? That was a fun chat with Keegan.
Keegan seems like a great dude.
Very, very good dude. And you know what? It's unfortunate we didn't get the full interview capabilities that we usually have, but I said we'll have to have him back in real soon because he's got some thoughts. He's got some thoughts on the NBA and just another, again, every person we speak to, you can tell, just a great ambassador for the HoopLife brand and what they represent.
Yeah.
Andrew and Habib have some very, very good people in their corner, and we're just thrilled to have the opportunity to speak to him.
Great group of guys and gals over at HoopLife. So, I mean, Max, we said in the commercial break, I don't think we've ever needed a Great Western
I already
nightcap.
had it in my hand. I needed it in the commercial break.
As much as we've needed one tonight. So let's crack her open here. Tonight we've got the Great Western Lager. We were supposed to be visited tonight by our friend Chris from Great Western, but he was unable to make it due to storms and other things happening. I think he got stuck at Libel Field with his kids for football. Not great football weather tonight.
I would say that's a perfectly reasonable excuse on a night like tonight. So cheers, Chris. We'll catch up with you shortly. But once again, thank you for the amazing products.
Yes,
for the Great Western Nightcap.
We're both fans. Now, we had Craig Ballard. He texted us and he said, I can fill in for you, boys. Craig, I appreciate that. I don't think we want to add any more wrinkles if we don't have to. Let's just get through this one.
See, and Craig, we know that you're watching. You're a starting lineup guy. You're not an off the bench guy.
Yeah.
We know that to be true. So
yeah, exactly.
we appreciate it, my friend. We'll get you on in the starting lineup again very, very shortly.
So we are going to keep rolling. I think we have... I will do our Bluebird block here, brought to you by RBI Baseball. Max, you gave him a nice shout out there before the break. We do have some Blue Jays stuff to talk about. There is some significant news and some things going on with the team at the moment. If you can, do you have internet?
I do. Well, I got my script up and the internet. Yes, I do.
You do?
Would you like me to lead this segment? Is that what you're saying?
I was just going to say, can you check the standings and just see how many games back as of tonight they are?
I certainly can. I don't even know what's happening with the game tonight. Did they win? Did they lose?
They were down 3-1, and then it was 3-2, so I'm not too sure. If you have internet, you can tell me.
This is like opening up the new Spider-Man trailer. I'm just like eager to see what happened. Did we get a W?
I don't know. Is it over? I don't even think it's over yet, is it? It's over?
They lost.
They lost. To the Orioles?
To the Orioles.
Well, that kind of ruins my first topic. The Jays
kind of need to win those games, boys.
The Jays have won 3 in a row coming into tonight. Not anymore. But they did win last night's game against the Orioles. They won the last 2 against the Tigers before that. So, I mean, if they would have won tonight, it would have been a 4-game winning streak, and it would have put them at least in the conversation still for the wild card race. Now, I don't know where they're at now, Max. Maybe you can pull that up. But they were, kind of coming back together. And one thing that I have noted here is that George Springer is the type of guy, and for me, Max, I think we kind of agree on this, but when he's in the lineup, you can just straight up notice his impact. It's both the attitude of the players. I don't know what it is, because he was in the dugout before during games, but when he's playing, there's something different about that team. It just feels like a different team.
Yeah, without a doubt. And 5.5 games back, pending an Oakland victory.
All right.
Tonight is where they'll be sitting. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of unfortunately a bit of a bleak scenario right now. I mean, so much was made of you've got to find a way to win these games against Baltimore. And now it's not about series wins. It's about winning out. And going back to your point about George Springer, he's certainly going to help that. But I think he may have missed too much of this season to really have the George Springer effect. We've seen what it can look like. We've seen flashes, which for Jays fans across the world, it's going to be very exciting next year as to what hopefully a healthy George Springer is going to be able to do for 162 games. But like you said, he's a complete difference maker when he's on the field. I don't know their exact record when he's in the lineup, but I want to say it's something to the tune of like 28-15 or something like that. Like he's only played 45, 50 games this year.
Yeah.
Hasn't been a lot. So.
Well, the nice part about George Springer, too, for Jays fans is that he is a guy that we will have next year and the year after that and the year after that and the year after that.
That's right.
It's not like a guy like Marcus Semien or maybe Robbie Ray who are maybe worried about next year. Maybe they won't be back.
Right.
We got George Springer. He's locked in. So there's at least that. One note, again, that I wanted to kind of mention, Gerard Dyson. He gets claimed off waivers, I believe, from the
Is your jersey in the
Royals. I should almost buy a jersey. This guy's 37 years old. Feels like he's been around the league forever.
Yeah.
And he has. He was with the Rangers. He was with the Royals.
He's with the Royals in their World Series team.
He's been around the league a little bit, and the guy has not slowed down at all. He's, one thing you said to me, Max, was that speed doesn't get in a slump or something. Is that what you said, or what did you say? Speed doesn't.
Sounds like words of wisdom. Probably
Sounds
not
like a
from
good
me,
thing.
but no, it was more to the tune of he's got one tool and it's speed.
What? Well, yeah, there's that, and it came out to play the other night against, I think it was the Orioles game, where he got a walk, stole a base, stole third,
promptly
got a hit,
pulled off
stole
a double
second,
steal.
double. They made stuff happen when he was on the base paths, and that is just something the Jays just have not had on their team since Ben Revere. Like maybe even not even him. He didn't even have that big of an impact, but they haven't had a speed guy forever. And I just feel like it's something that, Gerard Dyson, maybe he doesn't come back next year. If he does, I might be interested in that. But if he doesn't, maybe that's a priority that they should try to go out and get a guy who can be an effective speedster, even if it's just a guy who can spot start in the outfield or second base or something, and pinch run late in the game in a big moment where they need some speed. Now, we saw our boy Breivik Valera pinch run a few times, but I don't even think he's the type of pure natural speed as the guy like Gerard Dyson is. No. Now, I'm not saying Dyson's a savior, but he's a nice piece that they just haven't had.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's, again, it falls on this season. I was talking with a couple of buddies last night just about the game, because last night was kind of it was that reminder of what this team can be when they're firing on all cylinders, right? It's great starting pitching from Robbie Ray. It's an explosive offense with a couple of home runs from Vladdy. It's contributions on the base paths from guys like Gerard Dyson, Bo Bichette doing what he does, Teoscar Hernandez with the double. Like, there's just so much talent on this team that it's a little bit painful to watch how this season is kind of unraveled. But at the end of the day, like you said, as far as pieces for next year are concerned, there's so many to choose from. Now, I guess the other thing that kind of you have to speak to is which pieces are they going to bring back? I mean, unless Rogers is going to go full LA Dodgers here, Rogers and Dodgers.
Hey,
I'm just saying, you know
like
what?
that play on
Do
words.
you go full spend mode here? Is this the year where you break the bank knowing that this team currently constructed with now some young pieces that have gotten a full season and a half of experience under their belt. Again, I go back to it when I was kind of riding Bo a little bit earlier in the year. I think he just passed a year of service time in the league. 1 year.
Yeah.
And he's accomplished this much. So you get pieces like that. You get Marcus Semien being there for the culture and putting up absolutely insane WAR numbers. There's no better second baseman in all of baseball in terms of wins above replacement. Just overall players. Shohei Ohtani is the only one ahead of Marcus Semien. He's been fantastic.
Not a bad thing to have under your
And
belt.
one of those guys that's gone in stretches, gone in spurts, as it does over a 162-game season. But I think when you look at guys like him, Robbie Ray, other guys on one-year deals, Teoscar Hernandez, they're going to have to pay very shortly. Which pieces do you bring back? This front office is going to have to decide to bring them all back, or they're going to have to be very right on the ones that they do in order to keep this window open and making some playoff appearances. Because as disappointing as it is to kind of see how this season's unfolding here, and I don't know, again, you hate to call curtains on it at this point, but just a little over 30 games to go. That loss to the Orioles tonight may seem like just another 4-2 loss. That's a big loss when they were gaining a little bit of momentum and trying to get things on a roll. Now, they could win 7 of their next 10 and be right back in it, but it's the yins and yangs of the 2020-2021 Toronto Blue Jays. So.
Yeah, you got to win these games, and it's just, especially against the Orioles. I think they have another series against the Orioles.
They have 2 more.
They have 2 more.
2 more. They have a 4-game set and a 3-game set before the end of the year.
Got to win these games, straight up. If they want to make the playoffs, they got to win against the Orioles every game. It's at that point now. Like you said earlier, It's not about winning seasons. It's about winning out. I like that point. Brad Hand, unfortunately, got dealt a bad hand because he is no longer on the Blue Jays.
Well, he dealt the Blue Jays a bad hand.
He dealt the Blue Jays. And I think this is one of the things, Max, where you were kind of talking about it along the lines of people were getting mad at Charlie Montoyo for bad results. Brad Hand was one of those guys where it's like, what was Charlie Montoyo supposed to do? They went out and got this guy for him. He was supposed to be one of the best closers or relievers in the game. He has been over the last few years. He's been struggling a little bit with Washington. They bring him in, and I think he had a 7.3 plus, I don't know what it was, 7.37 or something ERA in his time with the Jays alone. Just not good enough for a veteran guy who they wanted to be a big part of this stretch run.
I got no time for the Charlie hate, especially when it comes to Brad Hand and his usage and all this. The guy has the pedigree to get these outs. Brad Hand has to get these outs. It's not on Charlie Montoyo to do it. It's not on the situation. It's not on this. It's not on that. The fact of the matter is he's a big leaguer making $10 million. It's not on the manager to get those outs for him. He sets him up in the position. Maybe you don't put him in a high leverage spot, but he didn't even do that the last couple of outings, and it still just didn't go well for Brad Hand in Toronto. And it's really unfortunate to see, especially what Riley Adams is doing since he's been getting full-time at-bats with the Nationals. That's a trade that you look at immediately and say, okay, that's a gamble that you take in a season where, again, we talked about it. We talked about it at the trade deadline, being cautious about how much you give up in a season like this one unless you're guaranteed to have control of the asset for the following year. And Brad Hand didn't even make it to the end of a free agency year with the Blue Jays. It's one of those things where I don't think anybody really saw that coming. But at the end of the day, I got no time for the Charlie hate in terms of where you're going to match him up, lefty, righty, bat, this, that, whatever else. It's on these pitchers to get these outs. Your manager can't do it for you. So, yeah, say what you want about maybe you should have put this guy in this spot. Maybe you should have done this. Maybe you should have... No, the pitcher's got to get the outs. That's where I'm at.
Absolutely. Love it, Max. Rant it, stamp it, clip it.
Put it on Twitter.
Putting it on Twitter. A couple of just player notes now. Danny Jansen is back. And that was a guy that I have on here. Will we even see him much the rest of the way? And then he hits a home run tonight.
Saw him rounding the bases tonight. That was nice.
He did hit a home run. However, just with how Reese McGuire, we talked about him last week. Alejandro Kirk, we haven't talked about him much, but we probably should be talking about him more. How the two of those guys have been playing, especially since Riley Adams has been shipped out of town and Danny Jansen's been hurt most of the season. I don't know necessarily if we'll see Danny Jansen much at all the rest of the way. Now, in saying that, he is a good defensive catcher to an extent. Greg Zahn won't say that. Shout out to Greg Zahn, who said he hadn't developed the way he had hoped.
Right.
But the two other catchers, I think, have just kind of taken a step in their offensive production, and I don't think they've hurt defensively. Maybe we don't know the ins and outs of how it all works, but I'm curious to see if Danny Jansen even gets... I don't even think it'll be a three-way split in terms of time. I think it'll be, if you're looking at it, out of a 5, maybe two for the Reese, 2 for Alejandro, 1 for Danny.
You got to look at this last chunk of the season as if Danny Jansen continues to hit home runs and come up in big spots, he'll get the playing time. If he goes,
he earns it,
if he goes
absolutely.
0 for 4 with 3 Ks, well, then you know what? It's next guy up. And I think that's the only saving grace of the Riley Adams deal is it does eliminate at least one piece of the log jam.
Yeah.
Because we cannot forget another very, very exciting piece in this Blue Jays organization. Gabriel Moreno, who's coming back from injury in AA, has lit it up this year.
Yeah.
This is a piece that a lot of people are saying, oh, Austin Martin, Simeon Woods, Richardson, why are we depleting the prospect cupboard? No, people. There are still some very, very young pieces in this Blue Jays system that are going to be making headlines and head waves all across this team for a number of years. When it comes to the catching position and how ultimately important it is, though, like you said, Danny Jansen, it's up to him at this point. This is kind of his last life with the Blue Jays. So if he continues to hit home runs, if he goes 2 for 4 with a double and a single and this and that and continues to get on base, we know what he can do defensively. The Jays front office knows what he can do defensively. But you got to be able to give a little bit of offense, especially when the other guys are doing so. Like you said, Reese McGuire, Alejandro Kirk, and soon to be Gabriel Moreno.
Yeah.
All pieces that are going. There's only one spot behind the dish every night.
I'm wondering
Who's
at this
it gonna
point,
be?
too, if they're going to kind of designate a catcher to a starting pitcher and just kind of let them play those specific games.
Well, it made sense. It's Hyunjin Ryu tonight, and that's Danny is his catcher.
Danny's his catcher.
and he called a good game. I mean, they lost 4-2, tough, but he contributed on the offensive side of the ball, and defensively, haven't seen the highlights, but Ryu went 5 2/3 and gave up 3 runs. I mean,
yeah.
Call it what you can. I don't think it was a disastrous effort behind the dish.
We'll talk about a couple of the other pitchers here. Guys in the back, I still can't seem to get internet on my laptop. So if you want to just throw some comments up as we go, I was going to check our viewer comments, but feel free to please throw some up and we'll just read them as we go here. Robbie Ray, man, what can we say about this guy? 24 strikeouts in his last 2 starts, 14 and an 11. Maybe it was
10.
a 10, so 24.
14 plus 10 is 24.
Math, right.
Good math.
So anyways, absolute beast mode for this guy. Just inking more and more as we go, inking his case for a Cy Young candidacy.
And inking a massive
contract.
So, you know what? I mean, when it comes to Robbie Ray, and you're starting to see the graphics now, right? It's almost awards season in Major League Baseball, and he's right up there with the Lance Lynns and the Garrett Coles. He has been an absolute revelation. Now, I had an interesting thought posed my way from my good friend Brad Senko last night.
Brad.
Does he take a bit of a discount to stay with Pete
Yeah,
Walker
you know what?
and the revitalization of his career?
Let me cut you off there for a sec.
Please do.
They were talking about that on the broadcast the other night. It was Dan Schulman and Pat Tabler.
Pat Tabler.
And they were talking about how, thank you, Donna. Saying to look sharp. Thanks, Donna. Also, shout out to Myron. He gave us an update. They're going overtime in
Thank you,
Canada,
Myron.
USA. Thank you, Myron. If you are checking in tonight, we want to hear from you. Please send us a comment the rest of the way. We'll be on for a couple more minutes here. But please do fill up those comment sections. Just say hi. We're safe. I think we're past the worst of it at the moment.
My car might not be safe, but that's okay.
I checked the cars. I went out. I
Did
checked.
ya?
Yeah, I risked my life. It stopped hailing, but I risked
You're a
my
good
life.
guy.
I went out there, and it seems like they're okay, but we'll have to double check after.
You're
the
that
show.
guy, pal, aren't you?
I am that guy,
You're
pal.
that guy,
I am
pal.
that guy.
Appreciate
I'm
that.
that guy, pal. Now,
You didn't even look at my car.
where
did
was
you?
I at? Comments. Send them in. I looked at your car. I think you parked in the parking lot.
You saw the Predators logo. Oh, Jordan
Yeah.
did. Jordan's got
I
me.
think you got it.
Director
You're
Jordan.
good. It looked
stuff.
okay. Steven Matz, talking about good pitchers lately. Steven Matz had a really solid August. We saw the Blue Jays put up who should be our player of the month, and it was Vladdy. I think it was Vladdy. Robbie Ray, who had like 92% of the votes, and there was thousands and thousands of votes. And then Steven Matz was on there because he's pitched really well in August. I think it was. I think he had 2. I can't remember what it was, but his numbers were great. If I had internet, I'd check.
Yeah, Steven Matz is a guy that, I mean, because again, we talked about it a few weeks ago with Ross, because obviously it was Ross and Steven Matz kind of going down to the wire for who was going to be the Jays' 5th starter. Unfortunately, Ross got hurt and the conversation was kind of halted at that. But Steven Matz has really taken this role on and rolled with it. It's been good to know that even if you don't turn on the TV at night, at least in August, Steven Matz is going to give you 5 or 6 innings of 1 or no run baseball, and that's what you can chalk it up to. So it's been a really good month for him. Robbie Ray, though, 50 plus Ks in the month of August. I think that award has kind of been spoken
it's gotta
for.
be him.
But with that being said, though, Matt's very deserving of recognition for a great August as well.
Max, did you see the stat on Robbie Ray? Just, we can't stop talking about the guy.
Can't.
That he was the
Check his pants
fastest
lately?
he has the most strikeouts in MLB history. He stands alone.
It's a long history, by the way, for those that don't know.
Through his first 1,000 innings as a pitcher. Most strikeouts in MLB history. So let's keep him in Blue Jay Blue. Jose Barrios, I have him on the list as well. Last outing, 11
Vindication.
Ks. 11 Ks, absolutely dealt.
Yes.
And I've been saying it since we got him. Every single outing, he looks great. He has the stuff. What did you call it? You texted me when we were talking about it. I think you said, like, he's got Hall of Fame stuff, and we finally got to see it or something. Well, you said something nice. I liked your quote. I guess I could find it, but it was a couple days ago.
So about 600 text messages ago.
We got a few in the hopper.
That's right. Yep.
But anyways, what we knew about him was since we've gotten him
who
is
we
that
thought he was.
He's got elite strikeout stuff. His curveball's great. We've said it. His two-seamer is great. His changeup's awesome. And he was able to put it all together in a great outing. Was that against the Tigers?
That was against the Tigers.
That was the last game against the Tigers. So 11 strikeouts, got a win. Super happy for that guy, and maybe hopefully he can start rolling down the stretch as well. That kind of does it, unless you have anything else for the Jays.
No, at the end of the day, I was just glad to see Barrios, especially after we talked about him last week, really come back with that vindication performance of, you know what, it's just one outing, but it's building blocks, right? He said he made a couple mechanical adjustments. Again, working with Pete Walker, the pitcher whisperer. He's a guy that's just seemingly able to reel these guys in. That may be the Blue Jays' most important asset to lock up long term. He's been there forever, but again, don't let Pete Walker go anywhere.
No.
Man, it was just great to see him.
Yeah, they were talking about how pitching coaches should have an award.
He gets
Pete
tossed
Walker,
more than Charlie does. I love it.
Yeah.
I hate it and I love it. But like, your pitching coach has just got that fire in him. Like, that's what I'm worried about is, does Pete Walker all of a sudden, is he a manager material? That's maybe a hot take, but is he manager material?
Okay, let's put this question out there. Maybe this is a clip-worthy question.
I don't know.
If it comes down to Pete Walker getting an offer from wherever, and you have the opportunity to either let him go,
right,
or fire Charlie Montoyo and make Pete Walker your manager, do you do it?
That, I think, needs a lot more context put to it. I certainly, because again, pitching coaches and managers have very different skill sets. We know that, right? But man, just with what he's able to get out of these pitchers, it's absolutely incredible to watch. And like I said, I hope that question's not. I just want to see Charlie Montoyo win a ring in Toronto. Did you watch the Sportsnet
He's
feature?
a great dude.
Nino de Oro. I highly recommend anybody to go watch it. It's like a 23-minute, one of those Jays features that I think was made a year and a bit ago. It's on YouTube. Go check it out and tell me that you don't want Charlie Montoyo to stay in Toronto and win a ring with this organization.
You know, not that if we had Ross back on,
a
hypothetical, but hopefully he said he would, so we'll chat. But it'd be great to just kind of get his insight on what Charlie does for the locker room, because everything I see, everything you see, it seems like he's one of the guys.
Right.
And I think they want to win for him.
Exactly.
It seems
to
like
me,
that kind of situation.
that's the most important intangible of a manager.
Yeah.
Do you have somebody that you want at the top of the dugout throwing the home run jacket on, right? And to me, that spoke to me a lot last night of seeing that the guys know where they're at in the standings. They know that the playoffs are maybe a bit of a far-fetched idea right now at this point in the season. They're certainly not going to say that. We'll say it for them. But do you have that guy in the clubhouse leading you, steering the ship that you want to play for, that at the year-end exit meetings saying, I want to come back and play for that guy? To me, that is Charlie Montoyo. 30-some games left. Vladdy's out of his slump, and who's putting on the home run Barrio jacket? Charlie Montoyo, because it was a suggestion from the team.
Yeah.
If the guys were that unhappy with him, they wouldn't be suggesting those types of things.
I don't think I've sensed at all
Not
that
one
anyone's
iota.
unhappy with Charlie.
No.
I'm just saying, if a scenario comes up where Pete Walker's either gone or he's your manager, that's a tough call. Like, Pete Walker's made a huge impact on this team.
That is a huge hypothetical.
But we'll
again,
maybe get into
the
that
skill
down
sets
the
of
road.
pitching coach and manager. Like, again, right? We don't know. Maybe Pete Walker is a great pitching coach, and you let him be that great pitching coach.
Right.
But as you said, if he gets an offer from one of 30 major league teams, which could happen.
Yeah, but Max, how many times too? Let's just, like, if we want to just look at it this way, how many times have we seen
Brian Butterworth?
Well, I was going to say, so how many times have we seen a great offensive coordinator in the NFL or CFL become a head coach? Can't handle it. Defensive coordinator become a head coach.
About the skill sets.
That's what exactly I'm feeding into your line of thinking, Max.
Good stuff.
That's chemistry. That's co-host chemistry right there. Please fire up some comments here, guys, as we kind of wrap up the evening here for the Great Western Nightcap.
You know what I want to kind of
I'm enjoying the lager.
Yeah.
I like the lager. It's definitely a nice addition
the lager's
to their,
growing
to
on
their
me.
stable.
What I want to find out from our panelists is I've heard a lot of positive feedback from you guys as to a couple of the segments that we've done with regards to drafts. So fire us some ideas as to what you'd like to see. Would you like, again, we've done the fictional hockey player draft. We've done the baseball movies draft. What are a couple of other drafts that you would like to see Clark and I do? Poulin scores? Canada wins?
Marie-Philippe Poulin.
Sorry for spoiler alerts for those watching the game if you're behind, but go Canada.
Hey, the
Great
fact
job,
that we're
ladies.
on the air, I think we're allowed to say it.
Great job, ladies.
First time since 2012, Canada's...
Stick taps.
The first time since 2012, Canada's won a gold medal at the World Championships? Is that right? That can't be right.
The U.S. had like a streak of like 29 straight games that Canada snapped.
And then Sweden won one in there,
Sweden might have won one in there. Yeah, their ladies program has been coming around the bend.
They've been popping up a little bit.
Either way, great job, ladies. That was a master class of a tournament from them. The only negative thing I heard was the power play. In a short tournament, if they're winning games, does it really
I don't think
matter?
they've been practicing.
That's just one of those
as
things
much.
to nitpick at. Yeah. Exactly, yeah. So great job, ladies. That's fantastic.
But yeah, Max,
Huge
good point, Max. We've done the fictional hockey player. We've done the baseball movie draft. Obviously, there's the whole world of football we could get into. We could do some sort of legends thing.
Oh, yeah.
We could do like all-time like greats. You know, we could do something like that.
Yeah, if you get the St. Louis Blues, you should pick Gretzky, hey?
Yeah, right? Shout out to my TikTok
People
reference.
don't forget.
That's a good TikTok reference.
Yeah.
But yeah, we could do something like that. So that could be a lot of fun. Let us know in the comments. If you have any more comments, fire them away, gentlemen. And yeah, I don't know. Do we want to go back? Because I know we weren't technically on the air for most of our first segment where we actually talked about the topics we wanted to talk about. Myron's just saying how great the goal was from Marie-Philippe Poulin. I think her name is perfect for a song or a chant. Marie-Philippe Poulin. And it's just kind of got a nice little...
on it.
With Celine?
Contract Celine to write that song.
I'll text Celine after the show.
Celine Dion.
Dion. So yeah, I mean, do we want to go back, or do we just want to call it an evening and say thanks for checking in, everybody?
You know what? I think it might be that time. We're getting back on the podcast train, people. So make sure you check that out.
Yes.
Apple Podcast,
Our whole
Spotify.
show, from start to finish, of what we did do, will be on our podcast.
Yes.
Because I think we went off air in our first show, our first segment of our first iteration of the show.
When the hail started flying?
I think we went off air about halfway through our opening segment. So I think we missed a few segment topics, but it'll all be on the podcast. So thank you for tuning in. And if you want to check out the podcast, please head over to Max. Where can they find it? Everywhere?
On wherever you get your podcast
Everywhere.
from, typically. Unless you throw us some random platform like a weirdo, don't do that. Give it Spotify, Apple Music, Google Play. I think it's on all major platforms. It should be. So, yeah, just make sure you check it out. We've got up to episode, I believe, 38 with Barry Davis.
And tonight's 48.
So
I got a message. This is funny. I got a message from my buddy Tanner. Shout out Tanner McCall. Yeah. He texted me the other day. He was listening to episode 35 with Ryan Leslie.
Oh, yeah.
And he said, boys, I love the Arby's talk. And I'm like, what did we say about Arby's? Do you remember?
You mentioned curly fries or like a beef and cheddar or something? I
think maybe we had a
jogging
curly fry
my memory.
conversation.
Like, see, and that's the problem. Well, again, we let the podcast slip for a minute, so it's tough to jog the memory. But
I think he thought it was a recent episode, so he's like, "Yeah, keep up the Arby's talk. I loved it." I'm like, "What did we talk about?" That was 14. That was 2.5 months ago.
There's a few niche references that we like to get into, so we're glad that people are enjoying them and catching on.
Appreciate you guys tuning in each and every night. Tomorrow on the Rod Peterson Show, of course, because as you know, most of us here are involved upstairs with that one. Tomorrow we got Joey Alfieri calling in from TSN 690 in Montreal. We're going to talk a little bit more about the Kotkaniemi offer sheet, but a lot of Alouettes talk is what we're going to really get into because they aren't playing as well as we maybe thought they were going to. So we'll see what Joey has to say about that. But lots of Habs talk as well. And Winnipeg Ice head coach James Patrick. Now, I think we might have to dive into some Ice interviews maybe during the season because, Brian Munz is one of the best PR people in the WHL in hockey. Brian Munz runs that team. So we might have to dive in. And they have some great people involved in that organization.
Absolutely, they do.
Just a heads up and a shout out to the Winnipeg Ice. Next
might have to go down for a game.
Whoa. Yes. John Ohm
Speak it into existence, right?
John Ohm, can we hang out? You want to hang out, John Ohm? Who else is in Winnipeg that watches every night? But yeah, no, I'd love to go to Winnipeg. I know that they are in the middle of kind of getting a new arena situation, but I'd still love to go to Winnipeg for an ice game.
Or a Jets game.
Next week on the SquadCast, I mean, we might just have Leroy and Leroy on again. Shout out to There's Always Something to Do.
That's right.
There's always something to do next Tuesday.
Tonight it was getting caught in a rainstorm. Next week it's being on the SquadCast. There's always something to do.
Exactly. Tonight I've been in conversation with Leroy behind the camera. For those who know who Leroy and Leroy are, there's Leroy in front of the camera and Leroy behind the camera. Behind the camera is the one who makes all the plans, so I'm talking to him, and he said that they're just going to check and make sure nothing else is going on, but maybe next week they'll come back in. So here's hoping we can get Leroy squared in next week, because I'd love to talk to those guys, and I have a whole interview planned. Don't have to plan an interview. I already got it.
Plan an interview. Once again, thank you to Keegan Edwards,
thanks,
for
Keegan.
coming in.
That was a great chat.
They're always fantastic to us, so
and
thank you very much.
We got to get our friends from RBI in soon. We got to chat with them because they have some fall ball stuff going on.
Heck yeah, they do. That's right.
And some great rosters, by the way, for their fall ball squads.
Yes.
So I'm going to have to check in with Chris and see who can pop in maybe next week. So that'll be next week. Again, NFL's starting up, so we're going to be talking NFL.
That's probably going to be the theme of the show with a guest, hey?
More or less, unless Leroy's our guest. We'll see how it goes.
Well, we might have to do a double.
Maybe double guest, but
might have to do a double.
Comes
no
in,
free
we got
ads.
3 guests. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. We'll figure it out, guys.
Just sit back, relax. We got it.
NHL, I think, is still the actual start of the season is still about 40-ish days away. So we're
yes, Clark, it's still 40 days away. So for context on this, people, I'm taking over for a second. Clark, nearly every single week.
Yes.
Should we get into way too early predictions? How about Olympic roster predictions? How about Clark, are you itching to get back to National Hockey League hockey?
Tell?
A little bit.
I also want free content for my TikTok channel.
Okay. All right.
I always post
There's
clips.
always an ulterior motive, eh?
There's always something to do.
There's always something to do.
But anyways, let's sign off and give our boys in the back the rest of the night off here.
Great job rolling with the punches back there as well, boys.
Shout
Thank
out to
you very
these
much.
guys. Crushed it, Rolf and Jordan. Thank you guys so much. From the basement of the bunker, we are signing off. I'm producer Clark, Mad Max, engineer Rolf, and director Jordan in the back, and our friends over at. I have producer Alan. That's sad. I have producer Alan on the script.
Hello, darkness, my old
Sorry,
friend.
Alan.
Facebook's going to flag that, aren't they?
Miss you, buddy.
Miss you, Alan.
Because you sang a song.
Yeah.
Our friends at Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions, IKS Media, HoopLife Basketball, RBI Baseball, and of course, Original 16 and Great Western, man.
Get those nightcaps in,
These
you people.
nightcaps have been a revolution to the show, I must say.
They really have.
So we will see you next week. We got a fun show. We'll have a fun show, and hopefully we won't have like a tornado happening outside.
That'd be sweet.
And we'll have a great show. So anyways, we'll see you guys in 1 week's time.
Take
Bye
care,
for now.
everybody.